this is almost like a classroom, and we are receiving a lesson on game development with Tyrone and Antonis about 90's arcade racer, and we're getting to know their cool story and how they met and how they start collaborating on this game. So where to start?
We'll start with the Kickstarter, actually. That we'll rewind a little bit. Some people may or may not know I'm a huge fan of racing games. I grew up playing a lot of racing games, pole position, everything. But I have a very special place for Sega games of a certain era, when they were building their own hardware, when you had games like Super GT, which was called Scud Race in Europe, Daytona, Daytona 2, Indy, Virtua Racing, just all these really classic arcade racing games. On the other side of the planet, Antonis also loves that same type of game.
It's exactly the same story as Tyrone. Like I love those games too. So I guess that's why we ended up making this together. Well, I did the Kickstarter first, and then Tyrone just got the highest pledge. He asked me to make a car for him, but that was before we even collaborated. And then we got in touch, and he proposed to work together and bring the game to Wii U, and I was like ecstatic for that. Yeah.
So what are you showing us here?
So this is basically what got me so excited on the Kickstarter. Is Antonis had put together footage of the game in action, running in real time in Unity, and I wanted to play it. I wanted to see it because as soon as I saw it, the comment that Antonis gets, and I get a lot now, is like, "Oh, it's the Sega Blue Skies. It's the Blue Skies of the 90's are back." And I think this game is really powerful and important because somewhere between the 90's and now, games lost their soul. They got really extreme and they went kind of the wacky way, like Mario Kart, which I love Mario Kart, but it's kind of like the item getting and picking up coins, or they went super photorealistic like Gran Turismo and Forza. But we lost these arcade-style racing games that have a real soul, and they're very fun to play and easy to pick up, and you kind of like want to play with your friends and have a really good time. And when I saw the footage of what he had put together, I wanted to find a way to work with him. And I had previously worked on other racing games like R Racing Evolution, some games during the Saturn era, as well as I designed the physics for the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, which was PlayStation and PSP. I'm sorry, PlayStation 2 and PSP, and I helped sort of design the physics for that. And Antonis was actually looking for some collaboration, so the way we're working together is we're co-developing. He's the art director, we're designing it together, and he gets the benefit of me working on the physics and being able to utilize our programmers as well.
You started with Unity,
Yes.
and you're making this for PC and Mac.
Linux, yeah, and then when Tyrone got on board, we decided to do it for Wii U as well, yeah.
Why just Wii U in the beginning and not trying to get it into other consoles? Or
For Tyrone?
Yeah, so that's what, right now we're taking it as more of a development approach where we'll eventually start figuring out where we can take it. But given that it's on the Unity platform, it makes it a bit easier than the typical port, whereas when we're porting to PS4, PS3, or Vita, there's significant overhead as far as planning ahead how we're going to do the port. But right now, Antonis and I and the team, we can focus on putting the game together. He just finished sort of the first pass of the second track, and we can go back and forth and iterate and figure out what works really well with the game. And as we get closer to having a complete game, then we can decide, okay, where else do we want to put this? Do we want to go, we'll go iOS, we'll go Android. Basically anywhere Unity goes, we can go.
Antonis, do you think there's a new door opening for arcade games, pure arcade games? Because maybe like 5 years ago it was difficult to think about pure arcade game. I mean, like you needed more stuff, more.
I think it's easier now to get arcade games, quality arcade games, because the tools have gotten so much better. So you don't need a big team in order to create a quality arcade game. That's a big key, I think.
You don't have to worry about the engine. Before, you were so focused on making the tools, on making the rendering, adding all these effects, and you had almost like a tool department within game development. Now, when you have Unity and you have UDK and all these other middlewares, even I mean, you talking about Game Maker or Multimedia Fusion. Depending on the type of game you want to make, there's middleware out there for you, so that you can focus on the design, the artwork, and really making this really great, polished, beautiful game, and you don't have to say, oh my gosh, I need a technical director with 20 years of experience who even knows how to understand assembly and everything. Now he can focus on the art and design, and we can just make a beautiful game together without worrying about, oh my gosh, the engine needs this tool or it needs this and it's this. And if it does happen to need something, that's what's really great about Unity, is that you can actually buy or write in plugins. They have an entire ecosystem, an economy built around the asset store, where it's not just buying 3D models, but you can buy plugins that affect how the renderer works, or even how the collision works, or plugins for physics, whatever we want, we have access to.
This also started as a fun project, like something you were doing without commercial mind, maybe?
No. I did a fun game before. It was a Sonic fun game. Yeah. That was my first project learning Unity. But then I wanted to make a commercial game, so I started working on this. But at the beginning I wanted to make a small, a simple application like for iPhone, or just keep it like that. But the more I worked on it, and being an artist, I started putting more graphics in and all that, so it became what it became. And then I wanted to keep working on it, so I went to Kickstarted, yeah.
Okay. When are we getting to drive this?
When it's done.
That's a typical answer.
Well, we're trying to finish it this year, but it really, as our fans know, particularly for Nicalis, we don't mind if they get mad at us for a little while, because we'll always release the game, but we always want to make sure we try our best. It doesn't benefit anybody to really rush a game out, because the fans get mad they bought something that they're not happy with, and then we rush something out that we're not happy with, and then what ends up happening, then we spend time fixing it after it's done. So now we can work together and get it as close to possible, get it as close as what we want possible. And then once we're comfortable, but we're going to try for this year.
Small project, so it is a small project, so I'm confident we can, do it either by the end of the year or a little bit later, yeah, but it should be done, yeah.
Cool. As this is so arcadey, when I was watching the footage, it was like I need a wheel. So are you supporting wheel controls?
Yeah, we'll support a wheel, and for the Wii U, since it's harder to get peripherals for consoles, you'll be able to use the Wii pad like this, the tilting. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And just tap after 90's Arcade Racer. Are you thinking about another arcade concept maybe together?
No, I think it's too early. I have many ideas and all that, but it's too early. I want to concentrate on this, just this for now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for your time and for the footage. Looking really nice. Thank you.